channel. I'm so excited for today's video, which is actually a traditional a traditional Mennonite Sunday dinner. So I'm excited. If y'all know one thing about Mennonites is that they can cook up a mean storm. So that's part of our heritage that I absolutely love. Growing up, I remember we would go to church in the morning, which we still do, and then we would come home and have this great Sunday lunch, and it was just such a big thing and always so delicious. You always looked forward to Sunday dinner. Josh's family was the same. His mom would cook up amazing Sunday dinners, and it's always so filling and so delicious. On today's menu is mashed potatoes, ham balls, corn. We'll do a tossed salad. We'll do homemade dinner rolls. We'll do applesauce and then a peanut butter pie. I wish I could give you a little taste of it at the end, but if you make it, make sure to let me know how it turns out. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into the kitchen.
When I wake, I know you are with me. In the dark, I can almost see you clearly. Every day, you're singing, oh.
To get things rolling, we are gonna start with the ham balls. So I have 2 packs of, our butcher calls this ham loaf. Hang on, I need a scissor. So I think it's basically ground pork from what I gathered. So we are gonna put 2 packs of that in here. And yes, these are from pigs that we raised right here on the farm. It's always nice to know what went into them. We're gonna put 2 of these in here, and for reference, these are each about 3 pounds of ground pork. Okay, so I'm just gonna smush that all together. I'm actually not the biggest pork lover, but these ham balls are pretty good. Okay, and then I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of milk, if I don't spill it everywhere. This recipe is so nice because you can make it before going to church in the morning, and then it can bake during church time, and you come home and it smells amazing. So that is delicious. Okay, I added 2 eggs, and then I'm adding 2 cups of Ritz cracker crumbs, and we're just gonna stir this all together. I like to use Ritz cracker crumbs instead of breadcrumbs because I think it adds more flavor with their seasoning and all that. So we're gonna just mix that all together. Well, these recipes are all so easy to do. Just as long as you have a lot of butter and cream on hand, you can cook like a Mennonite. No problemo. We are looking nice and mixed here. So next we're like halfway done already. We just need to form these into little balls. You can totally use like a cookie scooper for this, or like a small ice cream scoop. Mine wrecked. So I haven't bought a new one yet, so I'm just gonna quickly do this by hand, but it is so easy. Whip them into balls, and we'll put them on a cookie sheet, and then we'll make the sauce. Okay, we're gonna pop these on the sheet. Probably shouldn't be touching, but they can be fairly close together. Oh, and before I forget, let's preheat the oven to 350. For the ham balls, we have about 2 cups of maple syrup. You can also use brown sugar, but I prefer using maple syrup where I can. And then I have a cup of water and half a cup of white vinegar and a teaspoon of ground or dry mustard. So we're gonna mix that and put it on the stove, and then you wanna bring it to a boil and then turn down the heat and just let it simmer for about 4 minutes. oven for about an hour, 60 to 70 minutes. And I forgot about my rolls. Those are ready by now, so I'm gonna pop those in as well and just have it on convection bake. So let's get those going. Corn is so easy. You just literally dump the corn. This is corn from our garden. Just dump that into a pot and let it get hot, and then I just add some butter and salt. It would also traditionally be very common to do baked corn. I might add that recipe for you down below, but I just did regular corn today. And it's ready to serve. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my salad now. We did not have one specific salad that we always made growing up. They varied a lot. Sunday dinners, I feel like in the summer, a very traditional thing is 7-layer salad or to potluck dinners and that kind of thing. But for us at least, Sunday dinner, it would vary. So I'm just gonna do a really simple salad. We're gonna do some lettuce, some sweet peppers, some tomatoes, and some olives, and then just a vinaigrette dressing. With all the butter and cream and cheese and all kinds of goodness already in this meal, I feel like we need something a little bit lighter to balance it out. So let's assemble that quickly while we wait on this other stuff to be done.
Moving on to the peanut butter pie. So I'm going to start with putting 2.5 cups of milk into a saucepan and let that heat. And then I'll get a separate bowl and mix 1/2 cup of milk with 1/3 cup of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2/3 cups sugar, and 2 egg yolks. And then I'll mix that and pour it into my hot milk. We're going to go ahead and cook and then we'll add 2 tablespoons butter and about a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, while that cools, we're going to go ahead and move on to my personal favorite part of the pie, which is the peanut butter. So I have 1/2 cup peanut butter and 3 cups of sugar, and we're just going to mix that all together until it turns into fine crumbs. And finally, we're whipping up our whipping cream. So this is going to be the last step, and we'll be ready to assemble the pie.
The potatoes are looking ready to go, so we are gonna get ready to make mashed potatoes, and these are gonna be my favorite mashed potatoes ever. You know what, let me drain these quick and we'll keep talking. Okay, so first of all, where's my butter? Butter, 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 butter. I know in Pennsylvania here, I'm adding some butter. There's all the rage adding brown butter to your mashed potatoes. And that is fabulous. I'm also adding some garlic powder and some pepper, and then I'm gonna grab some salt. But personally, I have something else that I think is just as good or better. Let's beat these and talk about it. Okay, my secret weapon against the brown butter is heavy whipping cream. whipping cream to my mashed potatoes. It makes them so creamy and so delicious. And yes, also cheese. This is a shredded Gouda. And yes, shred it yourself. Don't buy the pre-shredded stuff. Anyway, it makes it so just like creamy and smooth and just delicious. So, did I say I added garlic? Yes, I added garlic. Anyway, I'll leave it up to you to try. But don't knock it till you try it. I think it's so good. I think it's really interesting the difference between the Russian Mennonites, which is what I grew up, versus the like Swiss Mennonites, which is what Josh grew up. And especially in eating, there's quite a difference. In fact, I was thinking of sometime doing a traditional Russian Mennonite meal, like vinegar, y'all, you know what I'm talking about? So good, vinegar or rolkuchen and rebus. There's, yeah, some really good meals that I've never had around here. So it's interesting just the big differences even among the Mennonites depending on what region they come from. So, you know, mashed potatoes can be a little controversial, so you make them how you want to make them. This is my favorite way. I think we're ready for my favorite part, which is assembling our pie. First of all, I did use this pie crust. I baked it earlier this morning. I'll try to put the recipe in the description box below to the pie crust that I used, but it needed to be cooled, and this is my favorite one. It's nice and flaky. I did not grow up eating peanut butter pie. Growing up, our desserts varied a lot for Sunday dinner. We did not have a specific one. I know that pies in general are a very Mennonite thing, although I feel like growing up, we did more like cakes and trifles and cream puffs and all that kind of thing. Not as many pies, although we definitely had pies sometimes. But peanut butter pie is one of Josh's favorites, so we're treating Josh today with this peanut butter pie. So to start off with, we are going to put about half of this crumb mixture on the bottom of the pan, or of the pie crust, and then the custard. So we'll put the custard on next. Let me find a spoon. This is when you start sweating a little bit, when this is also around the time when guests would start appearing. So fun times. Ooh, these are looking good. Let's butter them right away. Okay, hang on with the pie. Just a little bit. Don't pay attention to my last 3 here. I tried a different recipe for the last 3 here, so they are a no-go. I think I'll stick with my regular recipe. But those are looking nice and fluffy. Oh, I love that glossy butter. Wow, so good. And these are sourdough. And if sourdough is your thing, I'm actually part of a sourdough collab on Instagram next week. So follow me there at this.golden.hour if you want to learn more about sourdough, and we'll be doing a sourdough giveaway with a lot of sourdough essentials and yeah, just lots of recipes and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, if that's your thing, follow me there. Ooh, that's hot, but how tasty. And back to our peanut butter pie. So we're gonna start by pouring this vanilla custard onto the crumbs. See how nice and smooth that is? No reason to freak out. Okay. Spread that around. And then comes the whipping cream. I feel like I could have made a little more of that. You know what, maybe I still will, because a nice mound is always nice. Let's do that. Let's make a little more whipping cream. Okay, back with more whipping cream. Let's get a nice mound going here. I like to make it pretty thick so that it doesn't just run off the side of it. You just sprinkle the rest of these peanut butter crumbs over top. Hang on, Josh is coming in. I'm gonna have him try this for us. and try it.
Oh, that's really good. Good job. Oh yeah, that's great.
Do you want some juice? Do you want some juice? Got my little sidekick with me here now. I think she's gonna be hungry soon, so we'll need to go feed you, right? I know, you're so happy. Our ham balls have about 15 minutes left, so I'm gonna try our peanut butter pie. And we'll see how that is, and then we'll get all the rest ready after the ham balls are done. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, everybody. You see yourself? She's growing so fast. All right, let's try this peanut butter pie. Peanut butter pie. That looks so yummy. Okay, let's see what it's like. Josh really liked it. His favorite is not to be on camera, but I caught him this time. I caught him. All right, let's see what it's like. Should we try it? Wow. That's a good one for sure. I could send some through the camera to you. That's really good. And refreshing, actually. Yeah, that's really yummy. It's not so heavy because the peanut butter is actually just in the crumbs, which is kind of ironic that they call it a peanut butter pie, but it's yummy, yummy, yummy in her tummy, tummy, tummies. Let me go feed her and I'll be back with hopefully our ham balls done. All right, our ham balls are done, so I'm just finishing getting everything set up here and we'll taste test it. Ooh, those are looking yummy, aren't they? Those on here. So we have our ham balls, our mashed potatoes, our sourdough dinner rolls, our salad, our corn, and our applesauce, and then our peanut butter pie. So that is looking like a pretty traditional Mennonite Sunday dinner to me, going by how I grew up. Before we go, let me get you a plate. This sauce is what you would use then for the gravy for the mashed potatoes. And some corn. Wow, I'm so ready, it's ridiculous. There, and applesauce, you guys, that's another thing that's so different. Do you hear Abby? That's so different here compared to where I grew up. Around here, people have applesauce like I had ketchup growing up. It is basically if you have a hot meal, you gotta have applesauce is how it rolls around here. I would have grown up with that being ketchup, like you would have ketchup with any hot meal. Okay, totally butchering this roll, but let's put some butter and jelly on. All right, with love from me to you, Wish. So this is our dinner. Let's try the mashed potatoes here. So creamy. I wouldn't have to be trying this for you guys. I already know what it tastes like. It's not new recipes, but I like food. Haven't made these in a long time. So good. The rolls, they're so fluffy. I have a hunch that I know where my taste testers are. Anybody want food? All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Are you hungry yet? Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, guys.